Here comes the money. You're now listening to the Gambling with Gold podcast with Jason Gold. Presented by Champions Round.
NFL award season award predictions. Steph, why don't we start off with MVP? Is this even a discussion? Do we even need to have it? It's Mahomes. He's minus 750. Who would be your second choice right now? Because the odds suggest that Joe Burrow plus 750 or Josh Allen plus 1,000 would be second. Obviously, we didn't get to see the Monday night duel between the two of those. Is there anyone else that should really be in contention here? Should Jalen Hurts be in the conversation?
I don't think so. I actually did sprinkle a little bit on Josh Allen because I thought that there was a little bit of value left on that plus 1,000. But outside of him, Mahomes, I mean, it's Mahomes' award. Like, I can't see in what world he doesn't win it.
I'm with you 100%. And I'm actually surprised after just two games that Jalen Hurts has fallen all the way to plus 1,200. It almost suggests that him being the favorite wasn't all that strong to begin with. It's not like Mahomes has been on this crazy tear the last two games that would have separated him. I just think that he was ahead the entire time, and the odds just did not reflect what was actually happening in the real world. But I would be surprised if Hurts, he's plus 1,200 right now, so he's fourth in the odds. I still think he's going to finish second. Like, this Eagles team, you saw what they were last week against the Saints with Gardner Minshew. They've lost two straight without Hurts. To me, I think it only helps his case that they've lost two straight without him. I don't know why his odds have jumped down so much from being a minus 130 favorite to plus 1,200.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I tried to figure out why that would be the situation. The only thing is that they don't want him to win this award, and it might just be that he might be playing at the MVP level, but he just doesn't win. We've seen it happen in the past. But yeah, it seems like they really want Mahomes to be the winner of this award.
I think the Mahomes well-deserved winner, but I'm a little surprised that Hurts is so down. Anyways, let's go over to – I want to talk about Coach of the Year because this is, to me, the most interesting battle left on the board. Here are the live odds right now at DraftKings. Nick Sirianni plus 150, Kyle Shanahan plus 200, Brian Daboll plus 300, and then Doug Peterson at plus 1,000. I think that we can rule out any of those guys. I'm sure that there will be some sort of conversation about having Zach Taylor or Sean McDermott. Both teams are having great seasons.
Right.
And the way that they handled themselves on Monday Night Football with such class, I think was worthy of having them in this conversation. But given the way that this award is usually given out, I do think this comes down to Sirianni, Shanahan, or Daboll. And I'm actually surprised that Sirianni is a plus 150 favorite. The last 2 weeks have proved that this was more about Hurts than it was about Sirianni. Yes, He's doing a great job, but to me, this is a battle between Kyle Shanahan and Big Cock Brock Purdy and Brian Daboll and what he's done with these New York Giants. That's where I would want to put my money on, the plus 200 to plus 300. Where are you?
Yeah, I didn't take a lot of notes. I knew that we'd talk about this. The only note I took was I'm going to lose my shit. Like, I'm genuinely, I'm going to lose my fucking shit. I don't know why Sirianni is still the favorite. I think you have seen Jalen Hurts was very much a very big piece of the success that he had. Sirianni has everything. He has a perfect platter for him. His roster is beautiful. I think that the debate lies between Shanahan and Daboll. Can Doug Peterson maybe make a push? I think that the books want you to feel that way, and I think it's a feel-good story. I don't think that's realistic. We don't know that they're even going to make it to the playoffs. We probably wouldn't be having this conversation in a week if that is the case. So in my unbiased opinion, I think that Brian Daboll has done, he has taken this team and totally flipped them into a playoff level team. And they have not been able to say that for many, many years. I heard some ridiculous stat that they haven't been a 500 team in 5 years, not even at any point in a season. What he has done and how he's able to bring the best out of each of these players is unbelievable. Shanahan also, Purdy is probably the reason for that. So it just depends how it ends up falling.
Yeah, I think that Daboll's done a better job as a team game manager and getting the most out of literally squeezing out every last ounce to get what he got out of the New York Giants this season. There's no world, you can play the season 100 times. There's no world in which he gets, again, 9 wins and potentially 10 wins out of this team. It is simply an unbelievable job. However, I think that I'm going to lean towards Shanahan here at the plus 200.
Mhm.
What he's done with Mr. Irrelevant at quarterback, the guy looks better than Jimmy G. He's done it with 3 different quarterbacks this year, and there's a legitimate shot that they get the 1 seed. I think this is the year that Kyle Shanahan gets the flowers that he's deserved for so many years as being the offensive innovator that he is. But I think that both him and Dayball are more than deserving of this award. Sirianni, our answer. Fade him at plus 150.
I'm good. I'm out on that one.
There are 3 awards that are currently off the board, obviously, because they're going to be like minus 2,500. So let's just mention them to get them out of the way. Offensive Player of the Year is going to be Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
That's a lock. Defensive Player of the Year is going to be Nick Bosa. I keep wanting to say Joey Bosa, but Nick Bosa in San Francisco has been absolutely dominant. He will win that award. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year will be Sauce Gardner. That's off the board. No chance. You saw what he did last week. He's a special, special guy. So, no shock. Good job for the Jets. What a great draft class that they had. Speaking of which, let's get over to Offensive Rookie of the Year, which is one of the more intriguing awards. Right now, the odds at DraftKings, Kenneth Walker, minus 130, Garrett Wilson, again, the Jets guy, plus 200. Big cock Brock Purdy coming in at plus 400. And then you get into the weird Kenny Pickett plus 1,600, Christian Watson plus 2,500, and Chris Olave at plus $3,000. So it looks like we're between Walker, Wilson, and Purdy. This is probably the worst Offensive Rookie of the Year award options in a while for
that
sure.
I remember.
Kenneth Walker feels like he's going to potentially win this based on the fact that no one else has stepped up to the plate, but he hasn't really produced that well in a while. I think there's a chance that they get the 1 seed. I think that Purdy has like a legitimate claim. This is a quarterback award. What do you think?
That's what I think too. I think that there's still value on Purdy too, because I think that they win a playoff game, and this number is not going to look like that. He probably is I don't know. All these guys have really tapered off, and from what we've seen from Purdy, like he hasn't demonstrated that. You could just give Brian Robinson it for getting shot, and since he's not going to win Comeback Player of the Year, but that's
plus $3,000.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I think Purdy is the most, like, if you want to still find value on this, I would do it before playoffs start, and that's the direction I would go. If not, I probably would give it to Wilson over Walker, but I don't feel strongly either way.
I feel like I want to vote for Brock Purdy, and even like, yeah, they're not scoring a ton of points, but I like the moxie on Kenny Pickett. I got to tell you, the guy comes to play. He's a player.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And I mean, yeah, it was already a weird quarterback class too entering the year, and I think that kind of made this award even weirder too. But yeah, I think the value is on Purdy ultimately.
All right, I am with you there. Let's get to the last award that we want to talk about, which is going to be Comeback Player of the Year. I'm going to guess that you have some strong takes on this one, so I'm just going to get out of the way after I read the odds. Christian McCaffrey plus 175, Geno Smith plus 175, Saquon Barkley plus 225, and that's pretty much it. I will hand the floor off to you because I assume that this will be a Saquon.
No, it's not. This is another one. Like, I kind of feel the same way about this award that I feel about Offensive Player of the Year, where I don't feel really strongly in any direction. If you're going what are we basing this off of? This award needs more clarity is from the start is the problem. Like, is it coming back from adversity? Is it coming back from an injury? How serious is the injury? Like, how are we doing this? Is it we need a little bit more clarity into this. I have no idea. I have a futures bet on Barkley from before the season. I don't know. I don't see Barkley winning this for some reason. I think that CMC makes the most sense, but they're probably going to give it to Geno. But if you give it to Geno, it's like Goff also came back. Like, what are we doing here? And do not bet on Nick Gates while his story is unbelievable. That is bait by the books. Like, they're putting that there like plus 4,000. It's absolute bait to take it. His story is lovely, and I love him, but no.
The Geno part is interesting, and I think that we've had this debate before, but we'll close it out here. Can you be Comeback Player of the Year if you're not really coming back from anything? Are you just a guy who was a random dude in the NFL for 8 years, and then you pop on the scene, you get with the right team, the right coach, and you have a great season. Is that really a comeback player of the year, or is it someone that comes back from an injury, like a McCaffrey or a Barkley?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. McCaffrey versus Barkley, I probably lean McCaffrey just because he switched teams and picking up that new role on San Francisco. That's a really difficult transition, especially coming back from injury. But if you want to give it to Barkley, I don't care. I think that this award ultimately goes to Geno, especially if they make this playoff spot and beat the Rams and the Packers lose. So I'm probably betting on Geno plus 175, but I think the argument is worth it of whether or not he should be comeback player of the year given his story.
This has happened before. Did Tannehill win this, or am I crazy?
I feel like when he took over from Mariota, it feels like it's possible.
I feel like he did, but I don't know if he had an injury that also was part of it. Like, it's just weird. And also, like, I love Geno and I applaud everything that he did this season. But yeah, this award is a little fishy. I think that it makes the most sense to give it to Geno. But hey,
right.
maybe Goff will take him to the promised land and we can give it to Goff.
God, wouldn't that be something?